Hey, buddy.
Hey, yo, yo, yo.
Hear me okay?
Can you hear me?
I can.
You sound a little low.
Hmm. Okay. Try again.
That's better. That's a lot better.
Okay, I don't know what it was. I turned my volume all the way down, all the way back up, and whatever. All right, let's see. We'll get
Yeah.
going in just a minute here. I'm running a little
No,
behind
no,
today
you're
because
good. You're good.
I made 90 bottles of hot sauce an hour ago.
You made what?
90 bottles of hot sauce.
90 bottles of hot sauce. Holy shit.
Takes me about an hour.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. All right. Got my new mic set up here,
Oh, yeah.
windshield and
Yeah.
all. Yeah. I haven't got the soundboard on yet, but that's for next week. Every time we go. All right. Let's see. Wow, we actually have somebody I know watching right now. That's impressive. Hi, Crystal. Nice for you to
No,
join
no,
us.
no.
All right. Let's see. Okay. Let's get this started. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jab. I am the Brian, and this is my co-host, Mr. J.
Hello, hello.
Welcome, and welcome to our second episode in our series here. We're really excited. We're upgrading, expanding as we go. I just want to put a shout out to our sponsor, Flipping Good Sauces, the best sauce, in my opinion, you can put on anything. Even had people put it on ice cream. They're nuts. I won't do it, but they will. Good for them. It's delicious, and going to be hitting more stores soon. We just got a few more batches going, so hopefully, time for the holidays, a lot of people will get that under the tree in their stocking or for Hanukkah or whatever it is. Um, let's get started here. I'm going to transfer over to my good friend here, Mr. J, and let him take the reins.
Hello, hello, hello. And
And
welcome to
you
the
are on, sir.
chat. Say what?
I said
Welcome
you're
to the
on.
chat. Yo, yeah. Oh, yeah. Hmm. This show is
Back to
brought to you
coffee
by
time.
coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. All
And
right.
hot sauce.
Coffee and hot sauce. That's how we run this show. Coffee and hot sauce. All right. Well, today, folks, we're going to be talking about a couple of things. First thing we're going to talk about on the show today is trans athletes.
Now, let me just interrupt you for 1 second. I want to make a little disclaimer here.
Disclaimer.
There we go. Legal department here. This show, opinions, musings, entertainment, anything said, done on this show does not represent the opinions of other people associated with the show or the sponsors. And we have no intent in any way to harass or disparage or upset anyone of any of the LGBTQ plus community, trans, whatever you want to identify as. We are happy that you are doing that. That is your personal belief. We have no issue with that. And this is purely just a discussion on the logistics of the sports world connected to it. And we may have some opinions on it, but again, we mean no disrespect to anybody in the community. Carry
Nope,
on.
not at all. We are equal opportunity people. We have no problems with anybody.
Nope. Except for Nazis. Hate those guys.
No, no Nazis. No Nazis.
Yeah, screw them.
No,
Anyway.
no, we don't do Nazis.
Oh, we might.
All right. Interesting.
All right,
Good,
continue,
good,
sir.
good to know. Good to know. All right then. And here we go. All right, trans athletes. This is what we got to talk about. In May of this year, a poll was conducted by the Gallup poll. We all know about them. Well, this poll apparently found out that 70% of American adults say that transgender athletes need to compete in sports based on their birth gender. But, however, 55% of American adults also in this same poll say that changing one's gender is morally wrong. Well, I guess that's your thoughts. I didn't take the poll, so that I don't agree with that one. You do what you got to do. But according to LGBTQ activists, this rise in non-supporters has been majorly influenced by, they say, the far right, um, who have been trying to publish legislation against trans people, which is exactly what they're trying to do. In the past couple of years, 22 states have enacted a bill stating that it would restrict trans athletes from competing in sports according to their gender identity. Excuse me. Um, those who oppose the bill are saying that the measures are discriminatory and just they may hurt the youth trans, those who are still in their youth.
Yeah.
It's going to affect them more than anything else. Um, an advocate for the National Center of Transgender Equality says that the majority of this opposition in trans athletes comes right down to the fact that a lot of American adults don't know anybody who's trans. So, because a lot of the young people, between like 18 and 29, they accept that. They accept that trans people, they can do what they want to do. But a lot of people don't know trans people, and that's basically the bottom line of why there is so much opposition.
Right.
But I honestly, my whole entire thing about this is I kind of agree that trans athletes shouldn't be competing in other in their identity sex, simply because it, it's a tough thing to really talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
the definition of inside the line separating gray area.
Yes.
Whole new world, because this is of this century. I mean, you can argue if trans existed prior, it did, but in the spotlight, sports world, media, today's world, this is what, even not even a decade old, realistically,
Yeah.
when it
No, it's not.
for an issue. So, and as you're saying, the 55%, I think you quoted, of people that don't think it's morally correct, 50 plus. Um,
Yep. Yep.
if you compare the evangelical religious side and those kind of pieces to that, you know, that's probably, I'm going to say, at least 40-45% of that right there. I mean, I feel it's, Muslim, various things like that. So, I mean, it's a religious issue, and not, nothing against those religions, disclaimer here. But I mean, I would like to see the polling data, if it was broken down, showing, I personally know a lot of atheists, agnostics, spiritualists. They don't have an opinion in a negative light on this matter in general. Not towards the people who think it's morally wrong, because their morals are more based on their actual living. Um, and not out of a book. So I'd like to see that breakdown on it, because I don't think the average non super religious U.S. citizen person, whoever, American, whatever you want to call, would really have an issue with a person being transgendered in their own capacity, in their own home, in their own life, in their own relationships. That's their own thing. Because I mean, we've seen that with the gay community over the years. There was a lot of anti-gay propaganda for years, and come to find out, it's a very small group pushing it. The majority of people have a gay relative, or friend, or whatever, coworker, whatever, and have no issue with their lifestyle. It is a what do you call that? There, it's like a sound chamber. It's its own group, really being loud, like a with a megaphone. The
Yep.
one guy on a box in a park with a megaphone, basically yelling about it, where it sounds like everybody's yelling about it.
Yeah. It's basically the people who are really like up in arms about it seem to be the older generation. the people who are more stuck in their ways, like this really shouldn't be going on. Like, why are we having this? I, to me, it really, I mean, I don't care if you're trans, I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you belong to the LGBTQ. However, when it does come to sports,
Yeah, this
that's kind of a rough thing because, and it's really mostly the trans women community that a lot of people are having an issue with this. If I'm saying this right, trans women, like, it's a man transitioning into a woman, correct?
correct. That would
Correct.
be
Yeah.
that would
Yeah.
somebody who is considered has transitioned to a woman or
Yeah.
trans
Okay.
female, whatever you want to call it. Right.
So
And I oh go ahead.
no, I
Pat.
was because it's those it's that part of the trans community that people are having a real big problem with because you're basically taking a man and putting them in a woman's sport.
Right.
That's
And
what people have a big issue with.
right. And the way, I've kind of run this through my head over the last few days, and I've thought about this in the past when I've heard news stories. And my biggest thing I think of it is, if we're looking, and it's not about equality, it's about equity. If you're looking at, let's say here, you have somebody, I'll use an example, and some people may be able to pin this specifically. I don't know the names and true examples, but let's take this. You have a male swimmer who cannot get any championship wins. It's better than the average American swimmer by far, is an athlete, is a pro, but can't ever get Olympic status. Nothing great. And, whatever their thought is, if they're trans in their head, and that's what they feel they are trans. That's what they believe. That's what they want. Good for them. And they want to transition to being a woman. That's not an issue. Now, the problem is now they've transitioned into a woman. Now they can't, by technical standards, can they still compete in the male? Well, it's a double edged sword for them because they probably could, because genetically, the community would probably still consider them a male enough to compete in the sport. The problem is then they're putting off the fact that they consider themselves a female. They're saying, "Well, I'm a female, but I'm gonna pretend I'm a man." Even so, it gets confusing. So they're not going to do
Yeah.
that. That diminishes their own self beliefs at that point. So now they're going to go over to the female, side and say, "Well, I consider myself a female. This is a female sport. I would like to compete." And you have those boards coming back saying, "Well, you're not technically, but we also don't want to. We can't say anything against you because that doesn't look good." And it's again, we're discounting, we're going against your beliefs of who you are and saying, well, we don't think you are. So yeah, we'll let you compete. Now that person starts cranking gold, 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 winning every single time. And we'll go to the science side of this. Men's bodies in their natural state have more physical ability than the majority of females. I'm not saying anyone, but I want to hop over to weightlifting here. You have two of the strongest men in the world, Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw. These guys deadlift over 1,000 pounds. Okay,
Oh yeah.
they're
Yeah. I've seen
yeah,
them.
they're nuts. There's no female that has done that. In the future, can a female work up to that? Sure. I don't doubt that. Women have come very far in weightlifting. They are beating men in some smaller categories, catching up. However, at the moment, they have worked hard to get to that point and be able to lift that. Women have not been able to pull it off no matter how hard they go. Now, are those women stronger than 99.9% of men in the world? Yeah, more than likely. But again, you still have a guy who's got a physical advantage. So here's the equity part of it. Let's go back over to golf. You have a male and a female golf player. Now, I don't know if you play golf at all or have much
No,
knowledge
I
about it.
used
So,
to. I used to.
okay, so you have women's tees and men's tees.
Yep.
And traditionally, the reason for that is physically, in general, again, not everyone, the majority of women cannot drive a ball as far as a man can because of the physical build of their body.
Correct.
So, even though they may be more accurate, more skilled at the game, better short game, better putting, and actually a better player, on a driving range, more than likely their shots are not going to be as far. So they get equity, they get a little bit closer to the tee to start. So it makes them an equal chance partner so they can have a better chance. It equals out the physical difference. So if you were going to be doing weightlifting, you would basically handicap it the same way bowling works or a lot of sports, that you would have a female have to lift 900 for every 1,000 the male does. And I've seen that in mixed competitions. They're rare, but they do happen. And that way you can actually equate the differences and get a closer result saying, wow, you actually, because you're actually competing against yourself. You're saying, I lifted for my 190-pound frame 900 pounds. He lifted for his 240-pound frame 1,000 pounds, and or whatever the math is there. So now let's go back to the swimming. Now, the problem with that, if you wanted to give that trans person a 5-second late start or whatever, you figure it out. And how do you figure that out? I don't know.
No.
Weight is one thing. Weight, T distance, those can be kind of figured out off statistics of, whatever those sports are. Swimming, well, men tend to be 8 seconds faster, so we're going to give you a 7-second back. Give the, so we can do equity. Everybody's racing the same race at that point, or you're only racing your own numbers. How much can you beat your own swim time by, like a drag race? That's
Right.
completely different. That would have no issue with them being in different sports, because like golf, mixed golf, because you have different you have something that equals it out. They're not
I
doing that.
handicap.
And I mean, you can't do that in boxing. You can't do it in wrestling. Do you see female UFC fighters going against men? Do you see
Mm-mm.
female boxers, fighting against male boxers?
No.
I don't. And you know what? You got, people like Ali and stuff. You got these females that I would never fight in my life. No, nope, never in my
No.
life. And most men wouldn't, and they would possibly die from it because they are deadly in the ring. Now let's put Mike Tyson in there. Different story. And my problem with this is if Mike Tyson, in his prime, suddenly threw, and it's not nothing against people who are trans and not making fun of them, but let's just say, for the sake of argument, he throws a wig on or grows his hair out and says, I'm going to identify as female. Now I'm going to go box females. I have a problem with that. That is not
Yeah.
fair. It is
Yeah.
dangerous. It is an oversight. Now, on the other side, this is where there's two sides of the story. You have female players that are coming up in the NFL, in the baseball, things like this, high school wrestling, whatever it is, golf, bowling, these kind of things. The best female or the best pool player, billiards players in the world tend to be females. Darts are now starting to become females. A lot of these skill-based games, because the female brain tends to be better at it than men. Men are dumb, whatever. But the thing is it's brain over brawn at that point. So it gives there's equity in those games. Now that doesn't, so they have mixed games there. Now the question is, if you suddenly have a female who, Ronda Rousey, you have somebody who is just fantastic at fighting, and they want to take on Jake Paul, they want to take on McGregor, or somebody, and totally saying, hey, he may completely kill me, but I want this shot to prove that a female can do this. I don't know how much society would go, you know what, we don't have a problem. I don't know if they would really have a problem with it, because they'd want to see the chance, give them the opportunity. But
Oh, yeah.
that's that step up. And I've seen this more and more on physical reality shows, the Challenge on MTV. There's somebody on there who's not trans, but it's a female who can take out most of the guys. And there's been scenarios where they never compete physical men against women when it comes puzzles, stuff like that, but not actual brawling. And she has willingly said, well, if this means that, my partner can stay in, I will wrestle that guy. And the show won't let him do it. But I almost think they could do it. And that's where the double standard is on this, because if women want to go into the men's sports to compete, and suddenly if you have a woman who's a trans man, I, I don't I don't think there'd be any uproar to it. I don't think there would be at all. I think they would be welcomed in there because the men would be like, all right, you want to compete against us? Let's go. Provided boxing or something on the side, but I mean, most sports. And, and then you have these people come in and they're competing. And if they do beat them out, then does the uproar start? Well, it's not fair because they weren't, of the same category. So I don't know where you go here. And this is where I think if you handicap the in the sports term, handicap. If you handicap the trans athletes coming into the female sports to make it more, give them more equity, you may have something. However, if you were to also create a special category, now you're segregating. So again, I don't think there's a win on this. I really don't. I think the safest bet, in my opinion, if I was ahead of one of these sports groups, I would not allow most, it would be case by case basis. I mean, I get that a lot of these trans women are on estrogen, hormones, whatever, have had surgeries. There's things that have made them so they can't compete where they were. They're not on that level of possible physical, whatever the case is. But, and again, here we go. Who's the fastest runner in the world? Was it
You
Usain
saying Bolt
Bolt?
right now, is it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
And usually, even
yeah.
if he comes down, he goes back above it. Um, you know, and that's again, and science has proven the physiology just produces a easier pathway. It's not saying that a woman can't be the fastest runner in the world. It just hasn't happened yet. And maybe as we evolve as a species or whatever it happens in society, I mean, a lot of us men, as we become like you and me, we're not going to be running anywhere anytime soon. So,
No, no,
no,
not at all.
yeah,
the,
the run to the mailbox is enough for me. So, I
the
mean,
limp to the mailbox, man.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, that's my thought on it. I don't know. I think this is something that not going to be decided today or tomorrow. And
No, it's
my,
going to be a while. We're gonna be seeing issues like this show up for a little bit more before people start getting a hold of it.
right, right,
Yeah. But
yeah,
let's move on to our next topic.
yeah. Just gonna say,
Yeah. All right. Our next topic is hedge funds buying up single family homes. And I thank you for this one. I did some looking at this one, and this one was interesting.
it
So, all
is.
right. So the Democrats introduced a new bill like past week or so. It's called the End Hedge Fund Control of American Homes Act of 2023. Damn.
And
Banning
that
this
is not going to go over
Oh
well.
no, it's not because this will ban hedge funds from buying up more stock in single family homes. And this act, if it does go through, because apparently it's still kind of eh,
Yeah,
within 10 years, it will require them to sell their stocks or they will get taxed. But depend on these stocks and what the taxes will be put aside for programs for first time home buyers to be able to put a payment down on their first home. The bill was introduced by Representative Smith from Washington and Senator Merkley from Oregon, both of them Democrats. If this bill does pass, it could. It will give relief to those who are looking to buy their first home, most definitely. But just to give you an idea, like the numbers that I have here, in 2019, the median price for a single family home was $271,000. Now, today, as of November, that price has gone up to 400,000.
hmm
Um, and it's Representative Smith put it perfectly, and I'm going to quote him with this. In 1971, my father was able to buy the house I grew up in for $15,000 on the salary he earned as a baggage handler for SeaTac Airport. That same house would cost nearly $500,000 in today's market. Yet wages for workers like my father have not kept up. Congress must take action to crack down on corporate greed and get the hedge funds out of the single family home market. End quote.
Yep.
And I agree with that 100%.
hmm
100%. I've seen the market. I've seen what's been going on. Um, recently having to get myself into an apartment and whatnot. It's rough. It is rough nowadays, and I don't think it's just because of this. And this is a totally different topic. But I think it's also because of the living wages that people are getting these days.
Yeah, I think this is a very complex situation in general because what you end up happening is that BlackRock, for example, hedge fund. These companies have basically unlimited money. I mean, it is unlimited because if they run out, they can borrow, they can make equity, they can do whatever they want. They have enough power in Washington to basically influence the Fed. So what ends up happening is they come in and, like you said, you had a home that was there 275,000. They come in and they go, well, it's for sale. We're giving 325 for it. And the one down the street for 250, we're giving 325 for it. And that one down the road, we're giving 325 for it. It's only 175. Give them 325. We want them. The sellers go, sure, here you go. Then
Yeah.
they turn around, they put it under their or they put it under their rental company, and they rent them out for 1,500, 1,600 a month because they're playing long game. They know in 18 years the mortgage that the amount they put in is paid off and has sustainable income at that point, or whatever it may be.
Right.
And they can leverage against it for capital, so they double down on it. So now they just went and bought another house because they own that house, and if something ever went belly up, they can sit there and go, well, you can just take that one instead. Like most people would take a second mortgage. So these guys have done this. Well, then the real estate companies come in and they go, well, that home normally sells for 225, but the other three in this neighborhood all sold for 300 that are not as good condition. So you can sell it for 350. Boom, market starts climbing. That's what happens. And then every time there's free houses somewhere or available houses somewhere, one of those hedge funds comes in and goes, well, there's 86 houses. We're buying 82 of them. The last four on the market, they're a hot commodity, 450,000.
Mm-hmm.
I need a house. I need a house. I can't take an apartment. I have two dogs, and I'm not paying $2,600 a month when I can get a mortgage for $1,900 a month and own it and do what I
Right.
want. My house I bought in 2019. I got lucky. My house's value since 2019 has gone up 225%. I the house across the street from me, I have a 5 bedroom. The house across the street from me is a 3 bedroom. It just sold a couple months ago for 425,000, which was 15,000 over asking, I believe.
Oh
It's
God.
sold within 3 days. My
Wow.
good friend of mine is a real estate agent in the area, and he got me into this house. And he basically is looking for other work because there's no available houses to sell. When something does go on the market, it's either sold within a day, or at so low a point, they make almost no commission because they need to move it, or they have people arguing over it, and or it's $1 million home. So then they're sitting on it because unless you have it, you're not going to get approved for it. So you've
Yeah.
created a different type of bubble than the prior one from, was it 2018 or whatever, 6 to 14, whatever the last bubble was, I can't remember. So you've created a different type because it's not an interest rate bubble, it's a demand bubble, and it's because of the hedge funds. And again, they don't care. I mean, look what they did to GameStop. Look what they did to AMC.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
I was all connected to that. I was invested in those things. I
I,
played
I
along.
I read about that. Yeah, that was, and that's what they're trying to do is they're trying to stop things like that from happening. That's the legislation is trying to do.
Right. And the difference with the houses is you can't come in and buy 17 houses, go, haha, BlackRock, where you could take 17 shares of AMC and buy up all the shares, thus putting their, hedge bets in reverse and making them pay double down every 6 months when they can't cover the spread on them, in stock
Right.
market terms. So we did it. Invested. I mean, I heavily invested in AMC. I mean, almost coming up on 1,000 shares at one point in order with a whole group, with everybody that we could invest with to take them down. And we did. We put 2 hedge funds down on AMC alone. And it's because they bet on these companies like GameStop and Toys R Us and all those to make them crash. KB Toys, because they see it coming down and they go, you know what, we're going to bet against them. Then when they crash, we liquidate them, buy them out, liquidate them, and we get our bets back. So they triple down on this stuff, double down, whatever it is. They make a lot of money by doing this, by basically betting that you're going to
Yeah, they do.
fail. And hedge funds shouldn't exist. It's one of the perplexing issues in our financial system. But now they're doing the housing market. When are they going to do it next? Oranges? You're going to go to the store and try to buy some bananas, but they're $86 because BlackRock decided to buy out 95% of the banana supply in the U.S.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I ain't eating bananas anymore.
No, I mean, okay, now let's go to the other end of that. Oh, they're going to invest in baby formula. They're going to invest in diapers. they're going to invest in, certain car parts. They're going to invest in tires.
Oh yeah,
They're going to
because now that the housing market, now that they're trying to push them out of the housing market, yeah, they're going to go after something else.
right, and they're going to find something. Go after, they already go after
Oh yeah,
401ks
they've
and
got
all
money.
that.
They've got all this money with nothing to do. What?
Right,
Yeah, that's what they're going to do.
right,
No, I see that. I see that. I could honestly see them that happening. That like them buying out a small company, and whatever that company pushes out is already said. All of a sudden, that the price is jacked up, like you were
right.
saying, bananas. But
And nobody buys it, and they don't care. They
gold,
take the loss. They have their other hedge fund bet against them. So when they lose, they claim Chapter 11 or whatever. They get their payout back. They walk away. They auction off assets, and they get their hedge fund back. They get their puts back. When they're hedging against themselves in a sense. So
right?
they
Exactly.
that's what they do. And it's a big scam. It's a legal scam in the system. And
Yeah,
there's some questions of ethics in that and with those committees, but then you have them go up in front of Congress if they're ever questioned, they go, yeah, well, we're worth $18 billion and we control 20% of the mortgages in the US. So do you really want to put us down? Do you want to see what happens? And then Congress goes, well, don't do it again.
yeah, and then they do it again,
Here's
and
here's a fine. Here's a
yeah,
$500 million fine, and they go, oh, half billion. Well, we only have 80 billion. All right,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
take 50% of their money. Do that a couple
Tax the
times.
rich, Dan. Tax the rich.
Yep, tax the rich. No, seriously, tax the rich.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. Social Security spreads, all that. I don't understand caps. It makes no sense.
No,
I mean, I'm not saying you take 99% of Elon's income, but do you really need 17, or can you take 40?
right, right. Exactly, exactly.
Maybe he'll stop buying, social media companies and destroying them.
No, no.
Yeah, no, no, he won't.
That's not going to stop.
And I don't hate the guy. There's stuff that's interesting about him. I don't love him. I don't hate him, but I just,
Yeah.
just a good point. It's, I, I tell you, if the Fed wants to suddenly hand me a $500 billion, I don't know. I wouldn't do anything stupid like that either. I mean, where single people should not be making those decisions.
If they made if I was given a $500 billion, man, that would be so bad for me right now.
I know it's like, okay, I'm gonna buy an airline for no reason, and then let's see,
Yep.
I'm gonna get an island or four. You know
No,
what?
I'm
No,
gonna buy. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna buy Portugal. I mean, what are you gonna do? I
no. I'm
mean,
gonna no. You know what I'm gonna do? See, I've worked at a lot of fast food restaurants, so I'm gonna buy up a chain in each and every single one of them, and I'm gonna teach them how to do it right. But that's a whole different story.
and then lose money because doing it right will not make your money in corporate America.
Well, no, no. What I
That
mean, do it right. I mean, teaching people how to make a damn hamburger correctly. I mean, come
hey
on. It's
hey
not
I
that hard.
hey I tell you, you ate at my restaurant back in the day. You
Oh,
know,
oh yeah, yeah. No, no, dude. That was good. That was the best,
But
the best. And I am so
there you
sorry
go.
you lost that.
We made something right. I mean, that was a landlord dispute. That's a different thing. But still,
Right.
we made something right. Did we get rich off that? No, no. We were making people happy because if we wanted to get rich off it, we would cut it down by 80% and slam it together in a bag and throw it at you for double the cost. Then we would make our
Exactly.
money, and that's what they do. And the problem is you have, and there's a story maybe for next week, but the whole fast food complex there is its own thing now. It's not like when we were kids. I mean,
No,
it's
no,
gotten bad, but it's an addiction at that point and for
no.
society. But
I still
all
swear they're
right.
putting something in their burgers. I still swear they're putting something in their burgers.
A lot of it coming from advertising schooling, there's a big psychological aspect to it. It really is, and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's true because if you were suddenly stuck out in the woods for like 30 days surviving, and then all of a sudden you showed up in town and you saw a whole like auto mile setup of store restaurants and stuff, Burger King, McDonald's, something like that, you'd be like, oh, I want a burger. I want fries. You're not thinking about going to sit down to a plate of lasagna. You're not thinking of that. You're thinking of the other piece of it because they have that so psychologically set into your head. And that's the first thing you think. You're like, quick food, satisfaction, need that. And you get it. It'd be the best tasting burger you ever had because you've gone so long without it. And I think that's part of the problem is we believe it. And these things I do it. I go off my diet sometimes and I'm like, you know what? I haven't had a Whopper in a couple months. I want one. You go get it, and you're excited. You go open that thing up and you're like, all right, well, whatever. And you eat it and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. And about 20 minutes later, you're like, why did I eat that? And then you know
Yep,
what?
yep.
Couple months later, you do it again.
Oh, yeah, yep. No, it's a hard addiction to beat. It's a hard addiction to beat. And honestly, unless you've worked in these restaurants, you'll eat that stuff for the rest of your life.
Exactly. All right,
Absolutely.
let's
All
move
right, let's
on to
go on
your
to our
topic.
next.
You're up
Yep,
next
our
here.
next topic here is we're going to call this one Mr. J's Whack Rappers.
And here's another disclaimer here. A lot of these lyrics use a certain word. We do not say that word. I don't care what spelling of it you want to use. TikTok doesn't
Yes,
want it.
no,
We
no,
don't want it. So
no. This
don't
is
don't be listening, going, "Hey, we're gonna hear two white guys say." No, no, no. We don't do that.
no, no. We're just using this as a form of yeah. So this rapper I'm talking about today, her name is Sexy Red, and
Woo!
okay, so Sexy Red is a stage name. Her real name is, and I'm gonna mess this up. I know I'm going to. Janae Nira Weary. That's her real name.
I think that's actually pretty accurate.
Yeah, pretty accurate. She's 25 years old and she's out of St. Louis.
Yep.
However, I don't think the St. Lunatics claimed this one. I don't think they did. And if you don't know who the St. Lunatics are, go look up Nelly. And that's all I got to say about that. She got her online recognition for stealing Vanessa Carlton's song "A Thousand Miles." You can remember that song?
Oh yeah, man. I've
All
heard
right,
it. I
yeah,
heard it
yeah.
a
The
thousand times
little
back in the day.
piano. Yeah, okay. And she made it 1,000 jugs.
Right.
And it was back in 2018. And then she collaborated with Summer Walker on Sense Dat God Gave You in 2022, which apparently got her noticed by the label OpenShift and a rapper by the name of Jay Rebel,
Hmm.
who I don't know, I don't listen. She just came out with a new album. It's called Hood's Hottest Princess. And it's got songs on it like Pound Town, which is a hit for some reason with toddlers. I don't
It's the
understand.
video. It's the video.
Oh my god, I can't. I can't. And Ski Yee. Ski
I
Yee.
I could I
Okay.
could I couldn't even get 15 seconds of that one.
Okay, so I listened to Pound Town and Ski Yee, and
Yeah.
okay, I got a minute 39 into Pound Town. All right,
Hmm.
I can't. I don't understand how this is rap. I grew up with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Warren G, Wu Tang Clan. These guys had substance in their lyrics. I see,
Eminem.
Eminem, yeah, Eminem. Come on, and you've got song. Okay, you've got a song that toddlers dance to with, and I'm sorry for saying this, but the nigga dicked me down and ate me out. How are you gonna let your 5-year old listen to a song that says that is repeated in the chorus? Uh,
It's going to be on Kids Bop in a couple years. That's what's going to happen.
oh God, no! Please don't.
That drives me nuts.
No, no. So, and then the next song, Ski Yee, okay? A minute 12 is about as good as I could get into that one. I just couldn't do it.
Now, let me just interrupt you and ask it. Do you think this is a dynamic of a certain demographic, though, that would actually prefer that likes this kind of music? I mean, we're one demographic, you and me, for the most part. So,
Right,
I mean, and I'm with you on this. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of rap, especially modern stuff. I don't understand. I mean, you want to call it rap, whatever. Post Malone up, this kind of stuff, and all this like crunk, the St. Louis stuff. I never gotten into. I don't understand it. For me, it's just like is old, old school and
right, right. Yeah,
solid
no,
good rap.
I've always been into old school rap. I mean, I never got into uh, like Two Life Crew. Everybody knows about how bad they were. I mean, their lyrics got them sent to court.
Yeah, right.
But
And the only thing I'll give for them now you got somebody that created the shock song. They at least had some good beats,
yo,
but
yeah,
they were talented. They just kind of went nuts like Lords of Acid.
yep, yep, yep,
Same
exactly.
thing. Now you've done that, but they're their own specific piece of the genre. Their Two Live Crew is known to be them and be crazy on stage, like Gwar. Gwar is Gwar. That they're nuts
Yeah,
on
yeah,
stage on purpose. It doesn't mean we need 90 imitators that are not as talented. These people are talented musicians. They're just doing what they're doing. T-Pain, when he was using all the auto tune, he could sing,
no,
but
yeah,
he was and he got hit really hard for the auto tune. But he's an artist. He is fantastic. He has proven that. You know, and I may not listen to a lot of their stuff, but you can tell they're talented. This woman, on the other hand, like you're talking about, I mean, I can't say I didn't enjoy parts of the video. I mean, I'll be honest about that. But
but yeah.
yeah, I mean, there are worse things to see in the world. But at the same time, yeah, on mute, because what am I listening to? I am not a rap artist. I cannot rap. I could do that. Yeah, exclusive everybody. Next week, me and Mr. J here are going to have our debut rap album where we're just going to talk to a
Yeah,
sign
we're
of
just
the
going to
beat.
talk. It's just going to be us talking over beats. That's all it is. It's going to be 15 tracks of nothing but talking over beats.
With some rhyming and occasionally a and you know
Yeah.
what? Triple platinum, 3 months
Oh,
guaranteed.
yeah, exactly, exactly. No, no, there's
No.
no way. I'm so well. I mean, I could try, but I probably would do about 20% better than this.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? If I had somebody write something right for me, and I had the right beat, and I had a little practice, I could compete with one or two of these songs. But that's sad. I am not supposed to be the
No.
person. When you watch Chris Pratt do Eminem and blow it away,
Yeah, right. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt. If he can do that, why are we putting people like this out? Why are we putting this out when? Yeah,
and
I don't.
and you can claim it's a style, but I'm kind of sick of the rap thing. I get there was East and West Coast. That was a rivalry. It wasn't so much a style. There was styling behind it. I
No,
get
no,
that.
that was a legit rivalry.
Right,
Like
right.
they had fights at award shows when these guys showed up.
Right. And that's its own thing. It's not the style of the music. And yeah, the California style of rap is a little more, mellow and pop and those kind of things. It's different. And you got some more Chicago flair and all that in Memphis and whatnot. And Miami rap or whatever they want to call it. Now I can't remember what it is. It's Jacksonville rap or something. It's some weird
Yeah,
term.
yeah.
But then St. Louis rap. And I'm like, now it's gonna be, oh, we got St. Paul rap. Oh, we got Oklahoma City rap, and we got
Well,
Albany, New York rap, and we have
and
main.
and the messed up thing is like this whole entire thing with Sexy Red is she was trying to sound like she was from the dirty South. Okay,
Right. That's not
but
St. Louis.
but yeah, but she's rapping out of New York. How can
Right.
you rap dirty South if you rapping out of New York? That's
That
East. That's East
you
Coast.
you go to Baton Rouge or you go to Atlanta even. And even
Yeah.
that's questionable because of the mixing pot down there. But yeah, you go to Baton Rouge or you go to some part in
Or
Arkansas.
you go to Florida. Florida is considered dirty South.
Right. And I mean, I do like seeing some of those Florida guys rap because they're on the fentanyl or something. I mean they're
Oh
I mean
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
They're on
promoting that,
something.
but you watch them rap and you don't even know what they're doing, but it's amusing because it's like watching some of those videos online of tweakers just going nuts in the streets. I mean that's their own thing, but yeah, I don't get the city connections to it, and it's not promoting the city. If your songs were all about it, I mean, Spose from Maine.
Yeah,
I think there's a
exactly.
I think there's a main song or two where this references, but he doesn't
Yeah.
sit there and go, oh, I'm Bangor rap, or I mean, I think he lives in Waterboro now, honestly. So, because he used to be
Actually,
one.
yeah, no, he does. He lives near here because when I was working at Dunkin' Donuts last year, he was actually coming through my drive-through.
Right. He used to buy our pizza. He loved our food. We used to deliver it
Oh
to his
yeah,
house. Yeah. So, I mean, but he doesn't sit there and come out and be like, oh, York County, Waterboro, Maine, that's where I'm from. Like,
no,
why? Why? It doesn't need to be. it's not a legacy city that's, I get, maybe drop, you hear Will Smith say Miami. He has a song about it. He likes it. He sings about Philadelphia. He sings about these place names. That's way back in the day,
Oh
you
yeah,
know.
that's way back. But these were places that he lived, though.
Right,
Yeah,
and have massive populations, a lot of history. People,
exactly,
there's a culture there. I get
exactly,
there's a St.
exactly.
Louis culture, but you
No,
know,
there used to be. There used to be a St. Louis culture, but now,
right, and we're going to lose culture across most of the country because everybody it's easier to move around and people are getting just relocated and it's just we're all blending social media. Everybody's talking in front of everybody. It's changing the dynamic.
right,
So unless you're Snoop's age, or somebody, or singing about Compton or something. I mean, you're not. There's not going to be a culture behind it. You're rapping to rap. So if you're going to do that, again, I mean, I hate to reference it. Reference somebody like Eminem, who has some of the most creative lyrics
oh
and
no.
skill set. I'm not a
If
big rap fan, but I listen to his stuff and I try to listen to repeat so I can get every word. And I start sitting there going, these songs are so freaking complicated that they're beyond my, listening to a song from the 80s that I would enjoy or something. They are very complicated. And it takes a couple listenings to go, oh, actually, he's talking about this. I thought he was talking about this.
Yeah, no. When it comes to raps like that, though, if you're gonna put Eminem in your rap, you better make sure either you want to stay a rapper or not, because
Right, right, right.
Eminem's known to end careers, just end careers when he does a diss
Right,
when he does
right.
a diss track.
And it's because, I mean, he's the GOAT. I mean, and in his own field. I mean, he's proven that with Rap God and stuff, in my opinion. There's plenty of other rappers out there that are insanely amazing in the top of their game, but it's just lyrically he is, I think, above most, because to hear him spit out, what is it, was it I want to say it was like 536 syllables a minute or some
Right?
ridiculous and something. He's got a world record on it, I believe.
Yeah, no, he is the goat. It's gonna be a while before we see anyone who can top Eminem's talent.
Right, and at that point the words become so blended, you're going to have to put them through audio, slow them down to hear what they're saying, because he already maxes out the human capacity for understanding what he's saying. It's kind of like the
Exactly.
micro machine man back in the day.
Ah,
Remember him?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Loved his commercials.
Right, and he had the world. I think he still has the world record for the fastest talker ever. I'm pretty sure
Yep.
he
Even
did hold it.
Scatman couldn't beat him.
No, no, because at that point, do you go faster? Then you're not hearing it. You're not understanding it.
Yeah, no, yeah, at that point, you're just basically just making noise.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't understand the point at that point. But as you were continuing,
No, yeah. Where was I going? Oh yeah, we were still talking about ski
yeah,
yi.
right, right, right.
Anyway, yeah, no, that's all right. We got off topic. That's what we do. But no, no. Listening to ski yi, when I was sitting there listening to it, like, okay, when I listen to music, I listen to the lyrics. If you've already gotten me hooked on a beat, I'm good. I'm listening to the beat. Then I start listening to the lyrics. No, just no. This woman could not. Her rhyming was sloppy. She couldn't follow the beat, and it was the same played out. Look at all the money that I got. Look at me shaking my butt, and all these people want to sleep with me, and it's just like, eh, just eh. I mean, I don't understand how it's considered talent. I really don't. I don't understand how it's considered talent, and we really need the godfathers of rap like Dr. Dre, Ice T, Ice Cube. We need you guys to come back. We need you guys to make a good album and to show these kids how it's done once again. Because I,
Right. Yeah,
I find myself going back more and more to the older rappers than the newer rappers because the newer
oh,
rappers just don't have it.
even way back. I mean, Flava Flav, like people like the pioneers, Crisscross.
Crisscross, yes, Crisscross, Public Enemy.
Thank you,
Um,
Public Enemy. Yep,
yep, yep. What was the Naughty by Nature?
yep. Okay, let's just even go to this extent. Even up to the point of, people like Exhibit and DMX and those kind of people, that was still the peak of original rap in my thing. I mean,
Right.
I
Right.
don't, I didn't really like a lot of that. It wasn't my thing, but you listen to it now and you can at least appreciate that I consider it music. It's no different than,
Yeah.
here's my correlation, and this is funny. Two parts of the universe that have merged themselves together just recently, more so than ever, is country and rap. And country did the same thing in my eyes. You had really old school country. If you weren't into it, you weren't into it. Its own thing. And then you got into that late '80s, early '90s country, and that was the one I actually didn't mind. I enjoyed
Right.
Garth Brooks, Reba McEntire. Those were songs. Trisha Yearwood, all that stuff. And then you started getting in the 2000s, started getting a little sketchy. Start going, okay, still songs. I get it. It's a little commercialized, not my thing. Getting into, and then you go into Blake Shelton and all these kind of things. And now you got these songs that basically have 27 words in the whole song set to a country beat. They're saying they have become the meme. They have become the joke. It's about my pickup truck and it's about my horse. That's what they're singing about. And you're like,
Yep. Or,
and
or or they wanna try to cancel them because they're talking about don't try this in a small town.
right. And the reality behind that song 40 years ago, that may have been a little more innovative, kind of like, Toby Keith. I think it was when 9/11,
Yep.
boot and all that and the flag and all that. It's like, yeah, if you really look back at those wordings and lyrics behind them now, they're not great songs. They're not.
No.
But at the time, they worked. They were, they read the room well at the time. They're not a carry on song, not compared to the same as Friends in Low Places.
Right.
That's timeless. Fancy by Reba.
But yeah, that's timeless.
Timeless. They are, and they will be timeless. And it's the same thing when you get cross over into Celine Dion, Cher, these kind of songs. Madonna, they last forever because they're their own entity. Whereas you have, the what's her name there, Call Me Maybe. I hate that song. I do. I'll admit
Oh
that right in
God,
the
that
air.
one. Yeah.
I
Okay.
hate from the day that came out. I heard it one time and I'm like, I'm done with the song. And I still to this day, I can bear it better. I still hate it because it's crap, in my opinion. It's overproduced. It's something that could have been written on a cocktail napkin, and anybody with a decent singing voice at a karaoke bar could pull it off.
Right.
And that's what
Right.
I feel country has become. It has her lipstick's on my boots. I love her. She's beautiful. Her lipstick's on my boots. Like what?
Okay. Now wait a minute. I'm just going to stop you right there. Her lipstick's on my boots. How has that become a damn country song?
Because a man is referencing a woman bowing down to his boots. Now you're in country territory as far as parts of the
Yeah. Yeah.
country and part of the old demographic goes. And or she's sexier when she rides a horse. Oh, you're into equestrian girls? Is that what you like? You like going to England and
Is that what
watching
you're
them
trying to
jump?
say?
Yeah, yeah. Is that what you're referencing? Or are you're referencing English dress style on pole competitions where they're jumping, their horses in front and getting their awards. Is that what you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the thing. I'm like, what is making it country? It's not, I don't know. That really interests me. It blows my mind how bad country's gone the tubes. And I think rap has followed for the most part. There's still the good ones. There's still the stars out there. Rock, however, has rock done that? Are there a couple crap bands out there? Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh well, yeah. But there's been a couple of crap bands in rock that have really made themselves good.
You can hate Nickelback all you want. They're still
Oh yeah, but
talented.
okay, yeah. People could, and the only thing about Nickelback, and I'm just going to say this right now, is the only thing wrong with Nickelback is the fact that they didn't come out with more albums. Those guys were good. I don't care what you say. People want to sit there and bash on Nickelback. Look at how good they were doing. Okay.
Oh, they still have
Yeah.
massive sales. They had Limp Bizkit. You can hate Limp Bizkit all you want. Still touring.
Yeah. Still
I mean,
touring. Still
yeah,
getting people to go out there and have
enjoy
at it. I
enjoy the
mean,
music. Right.
yeah.
You can hate on these people all you want. You don't may not like their lyrics. They are still talented people. I mean, Disturbed proved that. I think multiple times, like doing sound. Sound of Silence, things like that. These are these people that kind of went down a little bit because they're like, well, they're just a fad or whatever. And all of a sudden you look back and you're like, wow, what is it? 11 albums now, several awards, and, millions of fans. That is not the same in my view of these other people. Sexy Red does not probably have 10 million people wanting to line up to go fight for Taylor Swift level
Right.
tickets. I'm not a fan of Taylor Swift. I'm not. I don't hate her. I like a few of her songs. I'm just not a. It's not my style of music.
No,
Is she?
no, no.
You can argue if she's talented or not. Did she start from the ground up? Yeah, there's a lot of question there. There's some nepotism, so that's fine.
Yeah,
Point is
nepotism.
now you have years and years of followers. You have record sales, whatever. That's people that never liked Michael Jackson still can, and whatever. I mean, aside from personal life, still in history, one of the records setters of the world. Elvis,
Right,
all of them. And
right,
Taylor Swift's going to go down on that level. I mean, up there with Cher and all them because it's just the volume. If you don't get the volume, and it's not because if you're doing something crazy specific, you're doing some kind of Asian bell music with Tibetan monks humming and all that, and you only have 20,000 followers, it's okay. You're a niche. When you're doing
yeah.
mainstream rap and you've got 100 and something followers or whatever, 100 something thousand followers, you're not good. You're not cranking the million.
No, you're not. You're not. You're not. You're just basically following everybody. You're just following what everybody else did. I mean, you looked good on stage. You could twerk your butt, and so therefore they just gave you a freaking. They just gave you a contract because you look good in a music video.
And let's go, and out of that, have you seen Saturday Night Live over the last couple of years?
I stopped watching Saturday Night Live when Chris Farley died.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, so back in the day, music acts, sometimes up and comers, but still somebody you'd be like, oh, I've heard of them, or oh wow, they were good. I think one out of every 6 episodes is somebody I recognize. And most of the time, the people that are on there, their performances are awful, and they never get popular afterwards. You don't hear about them a year later. And it's the
No.
same with it's not like Jimmy Fallon's show, their Tonight Show. Yeah, there's some people on there that aren't great, or are upcoming or alternative enough that don't really get popular. But then, like all of a sudden, like you somebody like I don't know, like My Chemical Romance or somebody on there, somebody that you may not like them, they may not be the most popular band, but they're well known, they are famous.
Oh yeah, they are.
Green Day suddenly will be on there or something, and whoever, and that's a big difference to me. I mean, compared to like Saturday Night Live, and I look at it, it's like they're like, oh, hosting tonight is let's just throw that out there, but like John Travolta or something, or somebody wicked famous like J.K. Simmons or whatever. It's like just one of these people like, oh wow, I know them, and then the Spruce Nuts are playing with them, and you're like, the who? And you go look them up. They have like 60,000 followers in their Spotify or whatever. And you're like, all right, and you look up. They have one album coming out. You listen to them, and it's some guy with a bell going with a bell the whole time, and you're like, what? What am I? Why are they on Saturday Night Live? You're
Yeah,
on
no,
you're on
exactly.
the top billing skit show in history. How did you get on there? And are they part of the NBC record label, and that's how they're promoting them? Do they know somebody? Did they win a contest? That's what I question. That drives me
Yeah.
nuts. My little excerpt into that part of it.
Yeah, no, I honestly, no, that seems to be what it looks like. There is, and like I said, I haven't watched Saturday Night Live since Chris Farley was alive, and what it seems like there, because I've seen snippets, and what it seems like is, they go online, they've become more of a social media gag. I don't know if you've noticed that with Saturday Night Live. It's more of a social media gag. And they
Mm,
go online and they look up these bands and they're like, well, they seem good enough. Let's put them on. That's what it seems like. It
right.
doesn't seem like they're really looking for any talent.
Oh, I tell you, that's like Kanye.
It's no, no, no. Why are we talking about easy?
I was never really into a lot of his stuff. I like the older stuff was okay. I love the one. I love when Jamie Foxx with Gold Digger, that kind of stuff. Of course, that's
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
that's a Ray Charles song, anyways. That's a classic. So you
But
already had the writing there, and Jamie Foxx is amazing. And but you think he came out and I can't remember what reward show or what he did, and it was literally grunting and stomping with thunder and lightning in the background, and I'm like, why are you still popular?
no, yeah, no, I don't, I don't know why he's still popular. I mean, it just seems like people just want to see what stupid thing Kanye West is going to do next.
And call it
That's
art.
basically what it is. That's all it is.
It's like the guy that taped a banana to the wall for $20,000 in the art gallery or something like that with duct tape. That's
Yeah,
what I look like.
yeah.
It's
Or
I'm creating art. Well, you're famous, so okay, we'll give you a record deal.
yeah, there you go. Right, right, exactly.
Well, that's our three topics here.
Yeah,
I want to do a little thing. I want to do a little like 8 to 10 minute Q&A. I'm just doing this right now. I'm crazy. This is popping up on top of
that's
my
okay.
head.
We're gonna pop up a Q and A.
Yeah, you're gonna do Q&A between you and me. All
Oh
right?
God.
Because
So
it's
okay,
okay. So let's see here. What is your preferred style of pants?
my preferred style of what? Panties?
No, not pants. No, pants.
Oh, my preferred style of pants? Well,
Yeah.
because I'm an old man, I would rather sit around and wear sweatpants all day than the jeans that I currently have on.
Hey, I hear you. You know what? I love some of the new materials out there. I buy like the stretchy. They're like yoga pants for men, but they're not. They're golf pant. So they're like a lycra blend, and they look like a dress pant, but they're a little stretchy and smooth. And they
Yeah,
have the elastic band. And man, I love it. Screw jeans and belts. Screw belts. I mean, you're getting dressed up for a wedding. You got a reason to wear a belt. You're going to a job interview. Great. Deal with a couple hours. Then it goes back in the closet. There's no reason. You don't need it. Put
yeah,
on something comfortable. I'm sorry, other parts of the world that wear dashikis and togas and whatever. I don't know, dresses, kilts. You guys got it right. You guys know what you're
yeah.
doing. I'm glad
Exactly,
society has
exactly.
accepted you. America sucks for that. That is something that we
Yeah.
have not come right. Is our fashion is just starting to get comfortable. It's taken us how many hundreds of years?
Well, no, okay. You want to talk about fashion? Fashion. Oh my God, I'm going to lose my mic. Fashion has gone down the fucking hill since freaking the days that I was a kid. Now I remember going to school with button-down shirts, a nice neckline, slacks, a good pair of sneakers. Today, kids show up to school in freaking sweatpants and a t-shirt with their freaking Crocs on, and that's considered acceptable.
You just described how my kid dresses half of the time. Not the Crocs, but no, because he wears jeans, but he's super skinny, and jeans fit him well. He likes the feel of them. But yeah, same way. I remember when we were in high school, Dockers became popular. People were wearing khakis and dress pants to school, and it wasn't anything to do with like trying to look formal. It just was a comfort thing because all of us were wearing if we were lucky Gap jeans, which were probably the more comfortable, but wearing like these Walmart brand jeans that felt like sandpaper on you all day that were
Levi's.
horrible. Right, right. I'm going to wear the cowboy jeans and sit in class for 8 hours. I mean, you're sweating, can't bend right, and you're uncomfortable, and you get this belt tight enough around your gut if you weren't the skinny dude with abs that you're sitting there all day thinking, I can't wait to get home and put on
Yeah.
sweatpants or
No,
pajamas or something. And
I'm gonna have this mark across my stomach for days.
permanent, I now permanently carry that mark. I don't
Yeah.
got a tattoo. I have a nice branded belt line. Yeah, because
Oh yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't matter how much weight I lose. It doesn't matter. It's going to be there for life. I'm going to have to go get that skin removed to get that thing out of there. Whereas, you know, all of a sudden started wearing Dockers and flex bands and these things, and you still have a belt on, but you're like, you know what? When I sit down, it stretches a little bit. Oh, the weaved belts, the
Yep.
interlaced ones and
Yep.
all
The
that,
weave
or
belt, the elastic weave belts. Yep. That's what I wear.
all those kind of things. And all of a sudden it was like the day was a little better. You were comfortable. Yeah, you didn't want to go out in the field. You didn't want to get down on your knees because you're going to rip your holes or stain them. You didn't want to spill your lunch on them because they were trash at that point. But at the same time, and then your parents get mad they're spending $45 on a new pair of Dockers for you. But whatever it was. But still, to this day, I would prefer that. And it's not even about the look of the fashion, but it's the comfort issue. And I'm really thinking we are starting to be innovative because I remember just getting out of high school, going into college for me was when you started seeing like women with like leggings and the yoga pants and pajamas at Walmart and whatever.
Right,
Because
right.
the women finally something in the whole female sex finally it all clicked and said, we're really in charge here. You know, we can go out in our pajamas all day long, and guys are going to love it. They're not going to say anything negative about it. And even if they do, we don't care. We're comfortable. And they're going to look at us and go, oh, we wish we could be comfortable. And it took us, like, what, 15 years to start going, well, they've been doing it. We're going to start wearing sweatpants in public more. We're going to start wearing
Oh
our
yeah, the
pajamas
whole
out.
yeah sweatpants in public, and then so women start pointing out, hey, look at all these guys in gray sweatpants.
Oh yeah, that's a whole different thing. But and now
Yeah,
now you
yeah,
basically have the guy yoga pants, and they're not the tight and then flowy thin yoga pant, but it's the material and they're built and Target carries a whole line of golf pants that are made out of this stuff with the pockets. They look like a cargo golf pant, and they're fancy as can be. But you can stretch them and fit two people if you want to. They're the most comfortable things on earth, and it's like, thank you. I've been wanting this stuff for 20 years. Thank you
yeah.
for
Where were you
finally
20
doing
years
it.
ago?
I wear them to work. I'm in a professional setting, and it comes across as I'm wearing dress pants. I am comfortable all day. I don't worry about it. I sit down and eat too much of a lunch. I'm still comfortable. It doesn't matter. My fat gut still fits, and that's exciting. That's there you go. There's a step forward in society. We have
Yep.
taken a leap forward. Good job, American fashion sense. You're finally starting to come somewhere the right way.
Yeah, we finally came out with the fact that we need to live comfortably, give us clothes that breathe and move. Okay? Not everybody's going to be able to fit into a size 2. Get with the program. It took them years.
And this is something too. I am not a big guy. I am not. I struggle in my own mind with my weight. I've been much bigger in the past. I've been smaller. I will be even as small as I am to look, and most people looking at me going, I'm husky. I'm heavier set. I am not huge, and I can't go into a lot of stores and even buy pants because they don't sell my size, or it's the end rack. It's the final one. I don't know if you ever seen was it Paul Blart Mall Cop or whatever?
Yep, yep,
Yeah,
yep.
when he's going through all the pants, when he's about to fight those guys, and he's going through it, he's going through the whole rack, and he's looking for pants that'll fit him. And on the very end, he picks it up. And he's like, yes. And I'm like that half the time because I will be at TJ Maxx or somewhere or Target or wherever it is. Kohl's. Oh, don't even get started on that. And I'll start getting to the end of the rack. I'm at the end of the rack. I'm like, oh my God, have my size. Oh my God, they actually have my size. Their biggest, fattest dude size is just comfortable enough to fit me. And I'm not that big. And I look at these people around me that are twice my size. I'm like, dude, where are you buying your pants? Are you special
Right.
ordering those things?
Big and tall. Big and tall.
I'm not tall. That's my problem. I'm
Yeah,
short.
yeah.
I'm short, so it's a weird dynamic. And I'm like, I'm glad I know how to sew. I have to alter. Oh, I have to hem a lot of my pants, and then they don't look right. I look like I'm wearing clown pants because of the way the shape is. It's so frustrating, and it's like, and I'm not. I'm a kind of a typical built guy for a good portion. I'm going to say at least 15-20% of society. I feel you're built similar to me.
I'm built just like a regular dad. I'm just I got the dad bod thing going. I'm a little husky. No, but I have the same problem going out and trying to get pants. It's like I go to Walmart and I'm looking for a pair of pants and it's like, are you serious?
Yeah, I want to know. You got 72 racks of under this size. At my lowest weight and my best shape, I was just getting into some of the top sizes of that. I was down to a 32 waist at one point. And then I'm looking at, I'm at the Levi store and they go down to, I think, 24. What dude has a 24-inch waist? There's women that don't. I mean, some of the top models get to those levels.
Damn.
Who
No,
who is this fitting?
no, dude, I'm looking at more like I'm looking at like a 36, 38, but I can't find anything in a 36, 38 that's not like 32, 34. Freaking, I got three quarters of a damn leg sticking out here because it's too long, and it's like, why can't we just make pants that would fit a guy our size?
right.
Dad
I,
pants.
you can't. I don't want to go to casual XL because it's for Shaq.
Yeah.
It's for a guy that's 300 pounds but 6'4" or 7, whatever. I can't wear their
But
clothes. I'm like, you know what? How about Big and Short? Where is the Big and Short store?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Where's the the short and husky? That's what we need. We need a short and husky.
Right. We need a Bobby Hill store. We got
Yes, yes.
get Mike Judge on the phone to have him, sponsor
I'll
this and have
drink to
Bob.
that.
No, really, because I mean it drives me crazy because I've spent more time altering dress pants and stuff, just depending on the whims of my body, but fitting and it does it drives me nuts because I am a 29 inseam and that is like my dress size is 29. So I get when you go to Men's Warehouse and you get a suit fitted, yeah, they can come pretty close because their tailors can design that thing to get you comfortable.
Yeah,
You're having a professional tailor design $100 pair of pants for you for one pair of pants you're going to wear twice a year, once a year, whatever. So that's how that's done. Walmart, though, cannot carry a pair of jeans in that size. And
the,
like you're saying,
the,
I know multiple men built like me that say the same thing. You're missing a whole opportunity here.
yeah. There's a lot of us who have like a smaller inseam, a 29, a 30. I'm a 30. I have a 30 inseam. I, for the life of me, cannot find pants at Walmart or Target that fit my 30 inseam. They're always 34, 36. And it's
Right. I
like,
mean, you'll find a 30-30
well,
or
yeah,
or a 32-30. And
yeah.
for me, I mean, I
No,
can
they
buy
don't work for
dress.
me.
I used to go to Sears, and I mean, at my peak, honestly, I'll say, embarrassing or not, at my peak, I was a 46-inch waist, 46 29s. You go find those. I'll give
Yeah,
you money.
yeah,
There's
no, no. I was a 40, I was a 48 30, and no, no, it
they
was
don't
hard.
really exist. All you can do is go into like PacSun and buy pajama pants that are triple or quadruple XL and then cut the bottoms off. It's the closest you can get. And I mean, it drives me nuts. So I turn around, and then get down and I was like, a 38. And I'm like, I'm a 38 waist. I can go buy pants now. Well, yeah, you can buy 38 32s, like you were saying. I can
Right.
I can wear 30s. I can wear a 30 and see my 29, but I can wear 30. I mean, it's an inch. It's not a big deal. And I tell you, it's the bottom of the rack. You go to Sam's Club, you're at the bottom of the stack, and you get down there. All of a sudden, you find that one pair, the one pair. It's in a horrible color. It's got a stain or a rip on it already, but it's your size, and you're like, I'm going to try them on anyways. Then you go to try them on, you can't button them because they're wrongly sized. That's my
Right.
musing on that.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I've seen that one too.
All right, so I guess my next question for you is, what is your what is your you drink
I
alcohol?
used to. I used to.
Okay, you used to.
Yeah,
What
I'm 13 years sober.
That is congratulations. That is fantastic.
Yep.
Um,
Thank you.
prior in your day to drinking, if you were going to choose a hard liquor to sip, what would it have been? Not it doesn't have to be brand, just what
No,
type?
whiskey. I was always a whiskey dude. And
A
you
whiskey,
give me whiskey, I was on it.
straight, just straight.
Straight whiskey. I always drank straight whiskey. Um, if like on a normal day, it was usually whiskey and a beer.
Yeah.
But it was I never mixed my whiskey. I mean that was my yeah that was my go-to.
See, for me, it's Scotch. So essentially, same
Yeah.
realm. I like a good Scotch because that was the first one I was turned on to through a tasting. I got to go to the Highland Games and try some Scotch
Ooh,
brought yeah,
nice.
oh yeah. Lefroy
Alcohol.
did a whole tasting for us and a couple of my buddies, and that was great. And they taught us directly from the factory that when you take your Scotch, you need to add a little bit of water to it. Scotch is designed to have a splash of water, and it can be club soda or whatever you want, but generally it's just straight distilled water because that's what actually releases the
Yeah, the
aroma and all.
aromatics. Yep.
Yeah, aromatics and
Exactly.
all that. And it was crazy because you had something that you take a sip of scotch, not being a drinker, and you're like dying. It's horrible. It burns. But when you do
Hmm.
this and you take a sip the way they tell you, it's kind of like tasting wines, and you kind of do the palate cleanse with it, and then you let it you run down, and you take a deep breath. All of a sudden, You taste the leather tobacco, the vanilla, the smoked peat moss. You get all these flavors, and it's like that's interesting. So for me though, it was still too much of a burn, so I started taking scotches, and I tell you, I basically got blacklisted from some bars for this stuff. Yeah, I'll take that 12 Macallan 12. Can you do a splash of Coke in that? I like a splash of either Coke or Pepsi in there. Prefer Coke on it.
Yeah.
Not a lot, not mixing it, just a splash. You know what it does? It kills the burn. You get all the flavor, none of the burn, with a little sweet finish on it. And
Right.
it's delicious. And seriously, my uncle had his own bar in his house, and a great uncle. I remember going over there, and my great aunt's from England, and he's stationed over there. And I tell you, when we all sat and had drinks, I told him what I wanted, and he was like, I thought he was going to kick me out of the house.
No,
He's like,
dude.
you put soda in your Scotch? What?
Does a
You know?
splash.
Yeah, it's like no, because it releases it. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but
No,
that's my thing. I've never been a vodka person. I mean, I don't mind it mixed, but you know,
no. I was always a whiskey person. Every once in a while, I might throw in a little bit of rum, like a rum and coke or a rum and cream soda.
yeah, rum cream. I've never had that rum and cream soda. Now I'm gonna
Rum
have to
and
try
cream.
that.
Okay, so if you take Sailor Jerry's,
Okay,
okay, you take Sailor Jerry's and you mix it in with Sprite, it tastes just like cream soda.
that's crazy.
Um, I used to take it and actually put it in cream soda. Eh, it was good. It was good. I liked it. But again, I've always been a whiskey beer guy.
I do like bourbons too. I've grown a fondness for like really high end bourbons. That's been my new thing because sometimes like the scotches, they have their own flavor. And I'd be watching something and I'd be like, yeah, maybe it's my ADHD, it's my masking. But whenever I see somebody on TV that's cool that's drinking, all of a sudden I get urged to drink. So I'm watching a show where the guy constantly is like, drinking bourbon. I'm like, I want some bourbon, so I go get some, and but
That's
um,
that's the same. That's just, right. Actually, that's funny because right now that's actually the same thing that I go through. If I'm watching, if I'm watching a movie or a TV show and somebody's,
right.
I, I honestly, I instantly have the urge. I got to go do that. That's yeah. I get the same way.
Yeah, because and it's weird how us says, I mean, are you on the spectrum?
Am I? I
Yeah.
haven't been tested. I have ADHD, but I haven't been tested if I'm on the
Well,
spectrum.
now in modern medical terms, ADHD is considered one part of the spectrum, so it's
Yeah.
not part. Yeah. So, but I mean, I've had some testing. I haven't been officially diagnosed, but I'm sorry, you put me through that textbook checklist, and I'm 9 out of 10 minimal on it. So, I mean, I know growing up that, I mean, my family members are and whatnot, but yeah, part of masking. Really, it is, and I've seen this a lot online on Instagram and stuff. People have claimed this too, and I mean, when I was a kid and I watched a movie at the theater, I come out thinking I was that character. I just like that's who I wanted to be, and then the next cool thing comes along, and that's who you want to be because you're trying to be what everybody else is enjoying.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly.
You,
It's a that though is more of a, like they make it that they target like in TV and in TV shows, commercials. They're targeted to make your brain go, I want that
right, but and
because
then
yeah, because it looks so good. It's become so appealing, and it just does that thing to your brain where it's like, I gotta have that. I gotta go do that right now. That is something I want. Or your favorite actor comes on and they got these really nice pair of glasses. I want those glasses. Where can I find those glasses?
I mean, there was a while that I had exactly Tony Stark's hair, and
Ugh.
I wear his Edith glasses, and I basically just go by that persona more or less to the point of like getting a fancy car and putting a certain plate on it. I mean, it really because that's who I identified the most with is
Yeah.
mentally his struggles of being accepted for how he thinks and stuff. Not saying I'm smart as Tony by any means, but and just wanting to be like that and loving that. And it's the same thing when I watched Dexter back in the day. I was like, maybe I need to be a serial killer now. I mean, because
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah,
does
yeah,
some good he
yeah.
does some good stuff. I'll go after
Yeah, definitely. No,
some bad
definitely.
people.
I knew a kid. Do you remember Darren Lyle?
No,
Okay, I went to school with him. He was in our high school. He was in our school. He had when MC Hammer came out. He had a thing for MC Hammer. He straight down to the haircut and clothes.
Wow.
He came to school one day in parachute pants. The last time he dressed up as MC Hammer. I will just say he was never that. I don't think he'll ever live that down.
Which is so sad in an aspect looking back as adults now.
Yeah,
Because if your kid suddenly did that, would you really be like angry at them for it? Or kind of like, to me, it's kind of like, I mean, it's one thing when you're being offensive or ridiculous, but like at the same time, if you really love it, like, you want to be that, you go do that.
yeah, yeah. If that's what you want to do, go do your thing.
Right,
It's
and
whatever.
I think that's I mean I don't know I remember wearing like a T-shirt with a logo on it in school and basically getting made fun of it. It was nothing crazy at the time. It was like I was wearing like a skateboarding shirt, and it was the fact that like all the skater guys were like, you don't skate, and I did. I had an Alien Workshop board. I built my own ramps. I was not a good skater. I'm not built to skate, but I
No.
tried. I was at least pushing the skateboard around. I could, do a toe flip or whatever where you jump up and land on the board. I was starting to ollie. I was starting to do some of that stuff. I was getting, and also it was like, you're a poser and all this stuff. And it made me stop wearing that kind of stuff. And it was like, I liked it. I liked the look of it. I liked Alien Workshop. I liked, all the logos with Vans. And I still, here, you know what? I'm wearing a Volcom shirt right now. I mean, I've been to the Volcom. I know Metallica, one of my favorites. Great band, great concert.
Oh yeah.
But I've been to the Volcom store in Salt Lake, in Park City in Utah when I was out there. Out of rim, there's only two stores I think in the whole U.S. They only have two stores. I got to go to one on a whim because we were there visiting. I went through that whole shopping area. Also, I see Volcom. They're like, oh, I didn't know they had stores. Went in, bought a bunch of shirts, and then I saw the thing in there, one of two locations. I was like, wow, that's a cool,
Yeah.
opportunity
No,
right there.
that is awesome. That's
So,
awesome.
and I have vintage stuff, and it's just the fact I haven't skateboarded. I haven't stood on a skateboard probably for 10 years. I mean, I don't. I've never became a skater. I became a snowboarder, if anything. But I just, it was one of those things. But it was discouraging because I think kids are like that. Now, there's a positive side to the woke culture of, school now. Is I think that these people can come back and go, I want to dress as a horse. Most of the kids now be like, hey, cool.
Oh, okay. So speaking of that, the whole entire thing now with the identities of kids being able to choose who they identify or what they identify as. Did you hear about what they did in Massachusetts?
no.
They put litter boxes in the bathrooms because kids were identifying as cats.
Have we actually confirmed this?
Yes.
Because I had heard a rumor about it, and
Well,
then
I was so for a time I was homeless and we were living in a shelter and talking to one of the kids in the shelter. He went to Waterboro. He went to Massapequa. He had special transportation come and pick him up, but he literally is in Massapequa right now. He came home one day and that's what he said. He said that they put litter boxes in there.
now my only question is because I used to be on the school board for Mass Basic for 12 years. We did have a case scenario where we had to have a litter box in the school because somebody had an emotional support cat.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, and there's emotional support dogs that have come in, or service dogs. There was two service dogs at one point. Um, I'm only wondering if that's construed the wrong way because of that. Because to me, that seems like, I don't know. That seems pushing it.
Oh yeah,
As
no,
as
just a
the
little bit.
identified thing. And then the same thing too. It's like, you know what? Here you go. My little girl. She's gonna be 5 in a couple days here, and she loves to pretend she's a goose. We call her Goose. She calls me Daddy Goose. Everything's a goose. She talks like a goose. She like all the time. She loves seeing geese. I mean, you know how evil as geese are.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
but she loves watching videos of them. Whenever we go to one of the animal places where they're all in there. She has to go talk to them. She runs right up to them and squawks at them. They squawk back at her. She gets so excited. She loves geese for some reason. And
and that's adorable.
everything's goose and whatever. Even to the point like she likes to like sometimes like she'll put on if we're somewhere she'll put on a goose hat or something or She'll do stuff like that. And she pretends she's a goose and she thinks she's a goose. She really does sometimes. And and I think that's perfectly normal and healthy. My near 10-year-old, though, sometimes he likes to pretend he's a dog. He gets on the floor, he wants a leash on, he starts barking at us, and he starts knocking stuff over. And it's not once in a while. It's like it starts pushing on the edge of being like, okay, this is annoying.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
against it's nothing against basically the kid wanting to be a kid or anything, but it's beyond play at that point. It starts getting to the point where you're like, okay, this is getting a little strange. And I mean, it's nothing against him and whatever, but we have to kind of dial him back. But at what age do you start saying no? And it kind of goes back to our topic last week about talking to the guy with a car, people that
Yeah.
love blow up animals or whatever and stuff like that. And I mean,
Yeah.
if
Those
somebody
sexual.
no, and if it's not, I mean, again, I mean, if I want to identify as an alien, a K-Pax, I'm an alien living among humans. If I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not trying to get any special rights out of it. I'm not trying to, I mean, litter box thing is special rights, but I mean, but beyond that,
Yeah.
do you really care? Does it really affect you if I think I'm an alien? You can think I'm nuts. That's your opinion, but
Yeah. No,
it,
it wouldn't. I mean, if somebody identifies as something, it really shouldn't matter to humanity as a whole. It
no,
really should.
as
It
long as
really
you're not
shouldn't.
walking into a restaurant and saying, I'm a bear. You have to put all my food on the floor, and you have to give me as much as you want, or I'll attack you. I mean, I mean, there's
No,
different
that's
things
that's a
there.
little beyond.
Or I identify as a lion. Let me in the lion cage at the zoo. Maybe not, Darwin and natural selection. We shouldn't let them
No,
in the
we,
zoo,
we,
but
we, we should allow that. No, we should allow that.
and and then when the guy's actually hanging out with the lions and they're treating him equal, we come back going, well, maybe he is a lion. Okay, cool. I
Well,
mean
yeah.
that's
So yeah, you just gotta check this stuff out. I mean, if they say they wanna identify as a bunch of as a piranha, just put them in the piranha pool for a little bit. We'll see how far it goes.
yeah. You know what? And if they swim with the piranhas and they're commanding them, we made the wrong choice because now we have a supervillain.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you got
Yeah,
that.
look out! You thought Aquaman was bad.
Yeah, you got Caesar Milan. I mean, he could probably command the dogs at this point. I mean, you have these people that like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Jane Goodall. You ever see Jane Goodall with a pack of gorillas or chimps behind her? Don't go after her. She's got an army.
Oh no, that's the Planet of the Apes. That's the beginning of the Planet of the Apes.
Right, exactly. So I mean, maybe these people, having some connection there or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. It's just an interesting thing where they said identity concepts and whatnot. And if you go to the other end of it, it's interesting. I just watched. I want to do a topic on this in the next couple of weeks, but I'll just do a little quick 3-minute snippet here, since we're at our end point for the Q&A. I was figuring because I figured we'd do
Yeah,
an after show half hour. That way I can cut the clips. We can do the hour for the YouTube, and then we can do a separate 30-minute clip for the after show, the
right.
Q&A session.
That sounds
More
like a good
more
idea.
more personal opinion, less news. But I want to do a discussion on the furries or the anthrocon, anthros as they call it, because I saw a documentary about this. I've known about it for years, but met a few. Had saw a documentary on this a little while back, and opened my eyes to a lot of things. It's interesting. It's not. I don't think it's a lot of what people perceive it. There is some of that going on, but there's a lot of good in it too for a lot of people because there's a lot of people that have issues with anxiety and all this, and they get into these characters and they go to these conventions and they meet friends and they can talk and they can enjoy. People that are almost nonverbal suddenly have personalities. It lets
Yep.
them be somebody else. And I know when I'm out in Halloween and I got a full mask on, I mean we go all out for Halloween. My family goes crazy. I was Animal from the Muppets. One year I made a full head, like mascot level animal head. And
Dang.
here I am walking around downtown Biddeford, and kids are coming up and waving, and I'm not a social person like that. I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm like making, I'm dancing around and all that because nobody can see who I am. I'm somebody else. And I understand it's acting at its finest. When those actors can put on that fake mask for the movie and take the role, that's a real skill because without the
Oh yeah,
physical
it is.
mask,
It is. Some cosplayers online are just some of the I would say some of the best actors that you would see on social media because I've seen some pretty good I mean, there's a guy that dresses up as Deadpool and goes to all these different Comic Cons. And if you didn't know any better, you would swear he was the actual Deadpool.
And I bet that person in real life is not a really outgoing social person. They're not like the life of the party under normal
Right.
circumstances. It's because they put the mask on. There was the same with the Spider-Man impersonator in Salem one year. The guy was doing backflip. He did a backflip off a post in front of us. We're like, is that actually Spider-Man? And he was just a method actor. And then we was talking later. He had his mask on, and he was like this nerdy guy that was quiet and shy, because you put on the mask and you're somebody else. And I get where the furries do that. I totally understand. I don't want to go too far on the topic and ruin it for a future
Yeah.
show, but yeah, it is interesting. There's a lot more to it. We can explore. And it's really, I think a lot of it gets a bad name because of a small section back in the 90s that kind of like started, but and
Yeah.
it transcribes there. But again, you want to be somebody else, you be somebody else. That's on you. You find people like you, and long as you're not planning on taking over the world with your army of minions that all dressed like you. I mean, yeah, you know what? Go for it. I'm all for it. I'll stay in my house and watch. That'll be
Oh yeah,
exciting.
yeah. No, I'll just sit on my roof and watch you guys take it down. Go for
I
it.
mean, how great would it be? You turn on the news tomorrow, and all of a sudden you saw this army of guys dressed in like blue velour suits with like plasma rays were marching downtown New York, and they're threatening to take over the world with a supervillain. I'd be like, cool.
Okay. I'll be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, equality here. I mean, balance
And,
in
and the
nature.
only reason is because we've been around long enough. We've seen what's been going on, and we're just like, you go for
Yeah,
it.
yin and yang here. You'll get these people all of a sudden. That will give the birth to superheroes. We'll finally see them when the supervillains pop up. That you watched every movie, anything ever created. You need the evil to create the good. You need the negative for the positive. You need the villain to come first, because the superhero is not going to be needed unless there's a supervillain.
No,
So
no,
where are
we
you?
need
If
super
you,
villains.
our listeners out there, if you're the next supervillain, go for it. Let's see what you can do.
Oh
Let
yeah,
let
go
let's
for it. No, let's see it. Who wants to
let's
be a supervillain?
yeah, let's progress society a little bit here, because you know what? All of us, it's just like if aliens suddenly if aliens appeared tomorrow, I think a lot of racism would be gone, at least among humans. It would be triggered on the aliens because it'd be a
Yeah,
different
now,
light.
yeah, everybody would be like, "Oh, he's got this skin." Yeah,
Right, because
yeah,
you gave something else for a lightning rod, and I think it'd be the same thing with supervillains. You have a supervillain out there, people are going to stop fighting among each other to do with all the crap that everybody's fighting about. You're not going to have that. You're going to have them worry about supervillains. That's why when you see in the movies, people all are getting along except for the villains and the heroes,
right.
because they take the thunder, they take the lightning rod of it, and everybody's paying attention to them. That's
True.
it. And then they're trying to live their lives and not have the building dropped on them, or not get
Yeah, exactly.
not get shot by a freeze ray or something. I mean, that's you watch Superman and Batman. I mean, these people are just going about their days. That's all they're ever doing, because they're like, oh, I hope I don't die today. That's all they're worried about. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh, good, Batman showed up and took that guy out. Good, I can go to work now.
No, no, but yeah, but when the Avengers show up, the next thing they want to know is who's going to pay for all the destruction.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll just write another check, and they'll raise the
Yeah,
interest
we'll
rates
just
and
have
stuff.
Tony pay for
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. It's just crazy, but
it.
well, anyways, I think that we'll let's
I think that will conclude the show.
1 second here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Yep, let's conclude the show again. Thank you for listening to our topics. Don't take anything we have too personally. We've said it's opinions, it's views, it's for you to think. Take the information. Do your research. Don't be ignorant. You don't take
Exactly.
somebody else's opinion just because you think it's cool. We do that.
Get
No,
educated, people.
yeah, use your education, and that's something. I mean, people really harp on Joe Rogan and stuff like that. It's like, listen to it. It's free speech. If you
Right.
don't, if you don't think that something is right, great. That's your opinion. If something is hate speech, that's something different. When somebody has a difference in opinion, they have the right to say it. That's how we weed out the bad people. Let the Nazis speak. I hate the Nazis. Let them speak. That way you go, hey, you're a Nazi. I hate you. That's the point.
Exactly.
If you don't let them speak, they go in the background, and you got Germany all over again. That's
Uh,
the problem. You got to have the free speech. It's
yep.
something. I don't care how liberal you get, how conservative you get. You need free speech, and that's something. I mean, it's a core value, and that's what we do here. I mean, it's free speech. We're not trying to be offensive. We're not trying to do anything to make anybody upset. We just want to discuss our beliefs and feelings with each other in front of you. We love your opinions. This will be up on YouTube pretty soon, and please go on and comment, follow us. Spotify, we get a Facebook page we're setting up, and we're going to keep going, and every week hopefully keep going with more episodes and
Oh
give
yeah.
more to you. And again, thank you, Mr. J. You always as always a fantastic co-host.
Okay. Thank you.
And somebody, I think this dynamic is fantastic. And again, thank you, viewers. Again, brought to you by Flipping Good Hot Sauces, best in
Flipping
the world,
good.
in my opinion. Thank you, Hot Sauce Company, for sponsoring us here and letting us be idiots on the air. And more or less, in a lighthearted sense. And everybody, have a good day.
Yep. Take it easy. Until next week.
Until next week. Peace.
Peace.